I'm May, and welcome to OP Said, where we react to the craziest Reddit stories.
Hi, I'm Mel, and today we have some intense stories. You won't believe it.
Hi, I'm Marie, and sit tight, it's going to get really interesting.
Okay, let's kick this one off with a story from Entitled Parents. Okay, this has got me intrigued. My mum stalks my location and questions where I'm at and who I'm with constantly. I, 24 female, still live with my parents. I still financially depend on them in the sense I cannot afford my own rent, so I stay here for free. Years ago, I added my family on Find My Friends because I didn't see it as a big deal. I really don't care about my friends or my family having my location. My mum, however, always interrogates me on where I am and who I'm with if she doesn't recognize the location. As I'm dating, this becomes very uncomfortable as I don't feel the need to explain myself, nor do I want to share every life detail with my parents. This irritates me, and we have argued about it many times. In the past, I made the mistake of telling her I was seeing someone and was with them. When I went to his house, she spam called me and told me she thought it was too early for me to be at his house and that I should not get intimate with him in any way. I got upset feeling my privacy was invaded, and also I was so embarrassed hoping the person didn't hear the phone call. I was in the other room, but still. So now I avoid telling her little things and lie that I am with a friend or out with a friend. I've been seeing someone for a couple months now and have been at their house more often. I just tell her I'm at a friend's, and now she's accusing me of lying. When I've taken off the location in the past, she throws a fit and says she's my mum and she's worried about me and that I should be glad that she cares. I don't feel this way. I'm just frustrated and feel I'm at the age now that I don't need to disclose everything. Just wanted some insight. Thank you. Okay, so what do you guys think?
Personally, I love an air tag.
Yeah, Marie told us. Do you know
I had a conversation.
I
had a conversation with
No,
Melinda on
that
Instagram.
made
She sent
me
me
laugh.
a message.
Yep.
And I was it was basically like keep the kids safe, and it had like ways that you can keep your kids safe. And I was like,
Wait a sec, by
if
putting...
I-
No, let me explain. It was by putting air tags in the kids' insoles. So in their trainers, there are these specific insoles made where it's got the air tag
That's a brilliant
den,
idea.
so you can actually slot it in. So you know where your kids always are.
That's brilliant.
And
Yeah,
check
but
out
also
Marie's
different-
response though.
and then my response was, I would tag you guys if I could.
Wow.
I would tag everyone.
So
My friends
Marie
would be
seems to
tagged.
be that mum.
No, but I wouldn't be calling you like, where are you? Da, 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 da. But I will feel better knowing you're
I
safe.
hear that.
I would feel better. I would actually actively, if I had an air tag on all my close friends, oh, my heart would be so settled every day just knowing that I know where you are. I watch so much crime,
no.
especially like the series that I just watched. I literally, the whole series let me know the importance of at least
What did you
one
watch?
person, How I Caught My Killer.
Oh,
And the fact
okay.
like the series was basically always tell someone something.
Yeah.
So like even
No,
if you
of
have a
course.
confidant. So I was just like, guys, as soon as she said it, I was like, this makes perfect sense, but it's also extended to friends and family.
Do you know what I hear
was
there?
dying.
Because like, no, but I do think it's really important that your friends and like your close people know where you are.
Yeah.
Because like, I'll never forget that time I accidentally sent the iPhone SOS, and Marie and Melinda immediately called.
Let me tell you something, yeah, we were on job.
Yeah, we
I don't
were
know
like,
what this girl, it
what?
was like 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, it
And
was an
I was
accident.
sleeping. I just like literally, I was on maternity leave, so I had just given birth. And I got this alert, 5 o'clock in the morning. I was like, oh my God, something's happened. So like literally, I woke up.
Yeah.
Then I think even Melinda called me or whatever. It
Yeah.
was like less
Yeah.
than 5 minutes. We were both like, have you heard from May? Have you heard from May? May was fine.
I was in my
She was
house.
absolutely
I
fine.
just
Yeah.
It was an accident, but it's good that you guys are on it. But it's
Absolutely.
also because like it's good that we all love crime
So on it.
shows and films.
Yes and no. Yes, yes, yes. Because obviously we're hypervigilant.
Yeah.
It helps us stay alert. Like hopefully we won't, be in any compromising positions. However, I don't know. Sometimes it makes you a little bit scared of the world, though. That is the only negative, because all of a sudden, all the shows that you watch are surrounded by criminals, evil, nasty deeds of the
know.
world, and you start thinking, oh my God, you could possibly be in that kind of situation at every turn. So yeah,
in my defense, one time I got into an Uber, and I normally before Uber had their share your status to a person, I just used to take a picture of the car and then send it to my
that's
mum.
good.
That's what I used to do.
Same.
And sometimes if I was annoying enough, I'll take a picture of the driver. Anyway, I got into the car and then I looked at the driver. This man's a complete different complexion, ethnicity to the person on the app. So I'm like, excuse me, who are you? Oh, I'm filling in for a friend. I could not have gotten out of that car fast enough. Right? So in that instance, I'm like, yes, but I digress. I think the mum is moving mad. Like, even saying everything that we're saying, it's very embarrassing.
At big 24,
At the age that she's at. I think she's even being safe by obviously having the Find My dating. And to have your mum being like, close your legs. Where you are, close your legs. It's too soon. I think that's crazy. I think the mum needs to relax and at least trust that she knows where her daughter is. I think she's just doing too much. And also being really aggressive with it.
I know.
Yeah.
I would turn it off, man.
Absolutely.
For her, anyway.
At 24, you don't need anyone tracking your locations. Like, most of us had sneaky links or in and around our 20s. Like, it's just what you do. It's a time where you explore and you do all sorts of madnesses. So whether it's hobbies, guys, whatever. So you don't really want your mum tracking your location at any time or every day. It should just purely be used for emergencies. Honestly, that's it. That's the only time my mum should be tracking her.
Yeah.
So yeah, if I were her, I would have a conversation with my mum and have boundaries and say, look, if I'm gone for more than 24 hours, feel free to, see where I am, or if it's an emergency, but generally get off my back, because it's actually unhealthy as well. Mm-hmm. And yes, I live in your home, but that doesn't mean you need to now track me like a dog. Like, well, what is this?
Yeah, I completely agree. I think turn it off and then have a conversation and say, I turned it off for this reason.
Yeah.
Just use Find My and let that be that. And again, as you said, stipulate, only ask me about my location if 24 hours have gone by.
Yeah, with no contact.
Yeah, with no contact. Otherwise, this is an adult. You need to treat her as such, because do you know what? If it continues, not only is your daughter going to move out as soon as possible, as soon as she can get the money, but it'll also change your relationship in, like, literally just how you communicate going forward.
I wouldn't wait 24 hours.
Oh, is it?
No, 12.
I
would, if we live together and you're gone for 24 hours, that's crazy.
No, not really.
No. If
you can, wait. So you can leave in the morning. Let's just say you left at 7 in the morning to go to work, and then from work you then go out to eat, drink, whatever it is, end up doing something. Let's just say it's a Friday night out with your colleagues or whatever, and then you go out and then you stay over at somebody's home, and then you may not come back until 10, 11. Technically that's 24 hours. Like,
with a mum like her, you need to check in at least after at least 12 to 16 hours.
But this is what I'm saying. Why are we now talking about hours and limitations and etc. As an adult, when, I don't know, early 20s, I wasn't telling anyone everything that I was doing. Even May, don't get me wrong, I would always check in with May, but we message and we talk every day anyway. So she would kind of have an inkling of what I was doing, but not my exact location. I would just be I'm not saying having exact location, here.
But if you are, like you say, you and May have communication all the time. Yeah. It depends what sort of relationship they have. Clearly, her mum is a person that checks in. My mum, I have a mother.
She's a helicopter mum.
So it's my mum. Like. I have a helicopter mum. So I know within every day at the same time, I get a phone call in the morning. No, I know. I'm talking from experience. My mum calls me, the kid's gone to school, everyone's okay. Little prayer, and she's gone. She's not asking me where I am, but it's like, oh, quick prayer, and then she's gone. Yeah, and then not every day.
It's really cute.
Every single day without fail. And then I would say 9 o'clock. She'll call, you okay? Not stressed? Kids in bed? Yes. We'll have a little chit chat. What you watch? She's gone. But she's not checking to see where I am. She's just checking to see if I'm okay. And then she's gone.
But that's my point. Your mum, your parents shouldn't be on your back as to where you are and have to know where you are, especially when you are a young adult, independent. You're over 20s. You're nearly mid-20s. Like, you should be trusted. And do you know what? It's a respect thing as well.
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
Have you not? And this is where I always question, like, some parents that are really on their kids' back. Sometimes I think, like, don't you think your job is kind of done? Like, do you not trust your parenting or your mothering skills that you've raised a well-adjusted, intelligent, street-savvy kind of individual? So therefore, you raise them to a certain age and then you let them go out in the world and trust that you've done a good enough job, pardon me, that they won't find themselves in compromising situations and they'll be okay.
I'm telling you guys, like, when Tori's a teenager, I'm going to have to come to your house and restrain myself. Because
But you can't be on their back. It doesn't.
No, I'm not going to be on
their
their back. I'm just saying, like, it's going to be so hard.
But she'll be a teenager. But I'm talking about when Tori is mid-20s. That is different. Mid-20s, you should feel, okay, cool. Like, let your children also enjoy their life. Because that's a different thing as well. We haven't spoken about the fact that a adult should be allowed to enjoy their life as they please without being tracked.
Sounds anxious to me. She sounds like she's
does,
got
but this
really
is why I
high
said,
anxiety.
Absolutely, but this is why I said have boundaries, because that way she isn't in overload and always thinking, oh my god, I'm gonna like, where's the kid? Let me check in. Have boundaries and tell her, like, mum, or tell her your routine. Mum, I go to work Monday to Friday and I'm possibly gonna be here, there, whatever. Cool, I'll check in with you.
Do you know what? I'll tell you something I don't like. That because of this mum being on her back, she started lying.
Yeah.
I really don't like when somebody puts you in a position to always lie. And I think when somebody does that because they won't accept your answer, that actual honest truth, they won't accept the honest truth. When it gets to the point that you're constantly lying to somebody, it's not, I don't know, it's just not a good relationship. And I don't think...
It's not healthy.
It's not healthy at all. Like, constantly having to lie to someone. Oh, like, instead of saying, I'm seeing David, oh yeah, I was out with Miranda. Like, I think when you have that type of relationship, it's not healthy. And also, it just doesn't make you feel good inside to always keep lying.
But also, if anything bad really did...
Because I used to have to lie to me.
Exactly, but that's not healthy. But also,
I had to stop it at some point. But yeah,
exactly. I was going to say, in the worst case scenario, do you know sometimes you could be lying so much, and God forbid you end up in a madness, you end up in a situation, and then when the police ask, "Oh, where is Marie?" or where, your mum has no clue. Like, your parent doesn't know because you've been lying for so long.
Yeah.
So it shouldn't get to that. It should never ever get to that. It should not.
I think my mum we had lies where I would lie and I'll be smiling in her face and she'll be like, okay.
So she knew.
She knew. And she'll be like, I know, I'm too much. I know I'm too much.
At least your mum knows that.
She'll be like, I'm too much. She felt comfortable in the lie. It was a lie that was told. And I was like, I'm going to see this person. And she'll be like, oh, okay. And then she knew. And then I'll be like, and then she'll be like, how was your day? And I was like, it was fine. This is what happened. So it was that sort of thing. But it was almost like a running joke. But anytime I said a friend's name, and she would look at me and I would smile and she'll be like, I'm too much, I know. Yeah. And then that was it. So I do get it. But one day I just said to her, we have to stop this. Like, I know I'm your only child, but please, I have to be able to talk to you like a person. It can't just be me. Like, I can't cuddle you anymore. Like, let's be adults about this. I'm going on a date. This is who I'm going with, and you're my emergency contact. I can't. The rest of us, we don't know what we're doing. We need to have one person that knows what they're doing. And if I can't tell you, I don't understand what we're doing here. So then our relationship changed, but it was funny for a while.
But do you know what it is as well? It's the judgment. That's what I was going to say. Because do you know what? When I was 24, I was doing different things.
Yeah.
And those different things.
Wow. What a description. What a girl.
Different things.
Go on.
Interesting.
And those different things sometimes included different people. But if there's judgment, she can't... Think about it. She can't be like, oh, tonight I'm going out with Stephen. Tomorrow I've got a date with Samuel.
Yeah.
And that could be, say, lunchtime with Samuel. That evening, she's seeing Derek. And why not? That's
Yeah.
like, why can't she date three
Yeah.
people? Why can't she
Yeah.
date 4, 5, 6? But if you have someone who's on your back, just like, you know, what time are you coming back? It's too early to be at Stephen's house. It's like she can't live spontaneously without, in the back of her mind, knowing her mom's going to have a conversation with her about it.
Yeah.
That's actually really unfair
that
to
that
her
makes me feel
living her life. She should be able to do what she wants as a 24-year-old. Like, it's so crazy. Like, not only are you being tracked, but then there's judgment that comes with it. And it's just like, you know, what are you doing? You shouldn't be there.
Yeah, my
like,
mum used to
why-
get stressed, man.
What
She
is
used to get
that?
stressed. She'd be like, "You're going on a date. Oh, is it still Michael?" I'm like, "No, it's
Exactly.
not
Moved
Michael."
on.
And she's like, in my day, one kiss, that's my
No.
boyfriend. I'm like, that's nice.
We've
Today's
moved
world,
on, yeah.
it's not the case.
It's a different time. Like, yeah, honestly, just take off the, what's it called, find my, have a discussion about boundaries and respect levels as well. Because, yeah, I don't know about you, but honestly, as a big adult myself, being talked to, getting told off, it does not sit well with me at all. And especially because I just think I'm an adult, I should be allowed to move how I want.
Yeah.
But at the
You're
same
right.
time, let's not pretend, so long as she's not disrespectful in her mum's household, like treating it like a hotel, coming in and out, because
Yeah.
she does live at home, so let's have respect for the mother. But it's a two-way thing. Once you become an adult, I think parents generally need to extend that respect to their kids as well and view them as adults.
Yeah.
Top comment. Turn off the location finder. If your mum throws a fit, remind her that her parents did not track her electronically. I have 2 adult children in their 20s. I cannot imagine feeling a need to track their movements. I do have the Find My setup for my mum's cell phone. I set it up when we travelled to Jordan last year. We also have AirTags in our purses and suitcases. Mum has no idea how to track me with her phone, but in an emergency, I am sure it could be used to find me.
Okay, so the next one is from submission. We have a submission. Okay, hi, what should I do? I, 22 female, got married in 2022. I'm business savvy and have a really big heart, which I think is my biggest downfall. My husband and I started going to church that same year we got married and got baptised. Sadly, it lasted less than a year, together for 6 years pre-marriage. We met new people in the church and I was all too happy going back to church and getting closer to God. I left him because he wouldn't stop sharing our private business with outsiders. More than one person came up to me and told me some of the things he had been saying behind my back. For example, my mother, pastor at church, my church sister, etc.
Wow.
I know, invasion of
But
privacy.
not her finding out she's married to a chatty patty
Oh.
after she gets, like,
I
married.
think that's so
So
unattractive.
what was happening in the 6 years before?
Okay, I don't know, but let me continue. Okay. After we...
No, guys, can we do a quick calculation? She was married at 22. They were together 6 years prior. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, but they just might be childhood sweethearts.
Yeah.
Or the guy around the neighborhood. Hello.
A 14-year-old.
Yeah, we had a friend.
My friend's
who
been married, no,
got together when she was 14.
15.
Yeah, just
She was 15.
just shy, almost 15, and they were together for 17 years.
Or
Married,
yeah, nearly 20
baby.
years.
Yeah.
Okay, back to the story. After waking up and finding the strength to leave the relationship, with the help of my pastor and a specific church sister, we ended. But he came back to church about 6 months after with his new lady. In capital letters, we are not divorced yet. The pastor welcomed them with open arms. I felt wronged, but I tried not to let that bother me. I was a part of the praise team choir alongside a pastor's daughter, in brackets the specific church sister, at that time, also living with the pastor's family because of work and because my ex took everything from me. All of our furniture, cutlery and my business supplies, which I had taken a 300k loan for. I was literally treated like shit. I went through it all because I thought I couldn't do any better. One day I visited a neighbouring church with my congregation where all visitors were asked to give testimonies. I'm shy, so I didn't say anything, but he got up and shared his. What struck me was when he started thanking and mentioning all the people who helped him the most. I wasn't mentioned. But it was me that helped him the most. I cried because everyone from the church knew that we were still married, and to hear him say that, I felt they now thought I was the reason why our marriage failed. I didn't know what to do. On the way home, I brought it up to the pastor, and she said I should forget it and was acting petty. I said, okay. See, I've always been treated like a nobody, so I accepted it. For example, I was restricted from using the washing machine in the house and only told to use the one outside, whilst everyone else could use the indoor one. Her daughter and I were close. We did everything together until she didn't want to live at home anymore because it was so strict. For example, if we went out, we couldn't wear what we wanted. And if we came in past 11 p.m, we'd be locked out. So we decided we were going to leave. She found a friend's house for us to stay at, but the place was horrible, but we couldn't afford anything nicer. Bear in mind, at that time, almost everything we did was funded by me. Not saying that she never did anything for me, but most of our living expenses were paid by me. Plus her hair, sometimes food, her transport, all me. Even her underwear, I would buy it for her. It came to the point where we had to leave her friend's house because apparently her boyfriend didn't know that we were there and we were left on the side of the road without our belongings.
Yeah.
My boyfriend told me to come and live with him, but I couldn't leave her alone on the streets. So I stayed with her. I did everything I could to get us food for about a week because we were practically homeless at this point. I was funding everything too: food, shelter, and transport. I finally saved enough money for us to get a place to rent, and we agreed that when she got some money, she would refund me, plus buy me a bed. After all of that, her mum told her to return home, but for me to never come back to her house again. After that, I wasn't willing to be her puppet anymore. When I asked her for my money back, she said she hadn't asked me to do all that I had for her, so that was on me. She blocked me and everything. Now I have 2 loans to pay back because I'd taken out a 30k loan, which we agreed to pay back together, and I paid more than my half, and she hasn't paid anything. So now the remaining loan is about $200,000 due to late fees and taxes. She refused to pay, so I got a police friend to contact her, and she told them I'd use the money to give it to my man. Now I'm unemployed with 2 loans to pay back, and she refuses to pay any of it. Are there any Jamaican lawyers in the comments who can help me out? Please. I haven't even included everything, but I think typing this made me feel better. Any advice? Not the both of you, silent and staring.
No, do you know, because in my mind, I'm going through the whole story, and I hope you take this as a lesson that to never, ever take money out for someone else again. And then also, I'm sorry, you're going to have to work and pay it off. I don't, if she's legally not on any paperwork and it's all in your name, I was always told never borrow money that you're going to miss. Like, never borrow out money that you're going to miss. So if it's borrowed out, likely chance is if they couldn't afford it in the first place, they can't afford it now.
Yeah.
I suggest brushing up your CV and trying to get a job so that you can move on with your life. But also, unfortunately, it feels like you're going to have to pay for it. I don't think I have any... I'm not a lawyer. I'm just a hairdresser. I don't...
And a podcaster, baby.
And a podcaster. But if I was in your situation, I would just go to whoever it is that loaned me the money and sort out a plan so that you don't keep having these reoccurring interest rates and so it doesn't basically get higher. And I would just work it off, or at least can you pause on a loan until you get a job, or no? I don't know if that even happens.
Never
but
taken out of loan. You can but you can have those discussions and
yeah,
have
like you need to have some sort of like payment plan where even if it's $20, so you're actually paying it off. Because right now, $200K.
That's crazy.
And you don't even have a house. Oh no.
Listen.
That's hurt my heart, man.
Yeah, it really has. What did she say? Like, I've always been nothing.
No, I've always been seen as a nobody.
I've always been. Okay.
People have used you.
Yeah. So in terms of the finance side of things, I think take Marie's advice, consult with like there are institutions, financial institutions that can help you with a payback plan. So that can help. Try and talk to her one last time to see if she can help. But again, as Marie said, if she's not on any paperwork, then the likelihood is, unfortunately, the remaining amount of that 30K is your debt to pay. I want to revisit your relationship with your ex-husband. I do think that there's something that legally you can look into, because that doesn't sound right to me. It doesn't sound right that it's your business and yet somehow you walk away with absolutely nothing. I want to know, what was his contribution to that business? I don't know, that doesn't make sense. So I feel like we're possibly missing some information to help us advise you better. And then I really need you to work on yourself, OP. And this is me, there's no blaming here, but it's just when you have more confidence within yourself and when you look at yourself and value yourself more, then that's something that nobody can take away from you. And in turn, people will see that you're confident within yourself. Unfortunately, I do think that it's not that you have like words across your forehead, but sometimes people do see victims before they've even said anything. Like, and this is just purely based on your manner, how you carry yourself, how you walk into a room. And I really want you to work on that. So let's do some character building, just confidence building. I don't know if that's maybe join a public speaking club, watch content online. There's loads of free advice on just building your confidence, because I feel like that's the foundation of everything. Unfortunately, it's very clear that you have low self-esteem, and unfortunately that's kind of, it's before you say anything, it's something that everybody can feel and see. And I think that if you work on yourself internally, then you won't ever experience anything similar to what you have experienced. So I am really, really sorry that you had to deal with that, but I do need you to start working on your confidence.
My advice would be, you need to start talking to everybody. And I mean everyone and their mum, and that includes the pastor. I'm not going to go, I would not advise you to have one last conversation with the church sister, which is the pastor's daughter. We're having a conversation with the family. I would advise you to have a wider conversation, because
It's true.
what most people don't like, especially
Embarrassment.
yes, most people don't like embarrassment, but especially they don't like their parents knowing what they've been on. Like, just generally, even myself, I will sit here, my parents don't need to know all my business. But hopefully, and leaning into the whole church thing, you know, doing better, treating those that you love and care for like you treat yourself, you should have a wider conversation with the pastor and her husband, just the wider family. Tell them what the state of play currently is. Tell them what occurred, what is outstanding, and hopefully come to some kind of payment plan with them. Then you need to file for bankruptcy, because you clearly can't afford this. File for bankruptcy and have a discussion with a financial advisor, and they can discuss how best to proceed. But I'm pretty sure you're going to have to file for bankruptcy. And then, like Marie suggested, get a job in order to pay off all of this debt. And as May suggested, start working on yourself. It sounds like you have a problem with confidence, self-worth, self-esteem. And sadly, these things and opinions of yourself have probably been formed from childhood, and you've then allowed other people not to necessarily treat you so well, take advantage of you, of your good nature, and as you said, take advantage of your kind and big heart. You can't allow that anymore. You're too old. You're 22, and you also have experience of people taking advantage of you. So let's not do that. Get some sort of help. Speak to friends, speak to family. There's online courses, there's free community places, community building, self-esteem, self-worth, all of that kind of thing, because you deserve better.
And I was going to say, I don't need you to go all the other way to completely selfish, but I do need you to find some selfishness within you, because buying an adult underwear
That's strange.
is different. And when I say different, that's in replacement of a less kind word. because it's insane, really. You shouldn't be doing that. You did too much. I really need you to kind of like put boundaries in place. You shouldn't have spent all of that money on anybody.
But wait a sec. What's done is done. Honestly, this is a submission. This is an actual personal submission.
Yeah.
So we don't want to do the blame game.
Okay, no, this ain't blame game. I'm just saying, in future, please don't spend that amount of money. Please put yourself first. Like, you should make sure that you have a roof over your head, that you're taking care of before you help anybody else. Just like if a plane is crashing, what do they say? Look after yourself first.
Yeah, you have to put on your own mask first.
Thank you. I really need you to look after yourself first.
I would say also, if anything, run a testimony in that church and talk about big shame. Yep. I'll be like, this is the story of how so-and-so, including the pastor,
name everyone, please,
did this to me. And
surnames as well.
If you want to help, I have a page. You can, I mean, if you don't mind getting a bit of charity as well, a little GoFundMe wouldn't hurt to raise some funds for you. But yeah, I would, if I'm not going to get what I need, all the people that brought me down will be shamed. At least they will have that. And I'm it's not about being vengeful, but sometimes people need to have a little bit of tea, of a taste of what they've put out there. They need to feel the shame. Because one thing about church people, they don't like to feel shame. Well, people in general, but the church, you go up there, you say, this is what the pastor's daughter did.
Yeah.
This is what we did when we were thingy. I have receipts. Do that.
Absolutely. But yeah, as May said, get some boundaries. Learn and start creating some boundaries. And in creating boundaries, one thing that always works for me is I often ask, would this person do the same for me?
That part.
And I'm telling you, more often the answer is no, no, and never. Yeah? So I would honestly say, like, I would have not got into certain things or situations that you sadly have. But next time somebody asks more of you than they would be willing to do for you, don't do it.
And also, you've learned this lesson really early. You're 22. Like, some people learn this in their big 30s and 40s. So it's an unfortunate lesson, but it is something that you can get yourself out of. So you'll be okay. Sure. You definitely will be okay. But yeah, hope we helped.
Yeah, good luck.
Mine is from Am I the Arsehole? Am I the arsehole for refusing to pay my estranged father's surgery despite being able to afford it?
No, absolutely not.
When I was 10, my father, 64 male, left my mum and me without warning. He remarried, started a new life and a new family, and had no interest in maintaining contact. My mum worked multiple jobs to support us, and I vowed never to depend on him for anything. Fast forward 22 years, I've built a successful career and I live a comfortable life. Out of nowhere, I received a call from my father's wife saying he needs urgent heart surgery and can't afford it. They've asked me to cover the costs, claiming that as his child, it's my duty to help. I declined, explaining that I don't owe anything to a man who abandoned me and let my mother suffer. Now his wife and kids from his second marriage are calling me heartless, saying I could easily save his life, but I'm choosing not to out of spite. Some of my extended family agrees, telling me to let go of the past. Am I the arsehole for refusing to pay for his surgery?
No. Asked and answered. And also, why are you asking, or is it normal for you to be asking strangers for money? Because that's what you are. Yeah?
Yeah.
You are estranged from your father. That man there, you are estranged. You haven't seen him since you were a child. You're now a big adult. So unless he regularly asks strangers for money, this is not normal. And I would let everybody know this is not normal. This is not our arrangement. This is not our relationship. So please go and seek help from those that you value and care for. Okay?
100%. Yeah. It's a straight no. And let's just go back to how things were before.
Absolutely.
Like, let's maintain that sort of relationship where, because you know what? I guarantee, see them siblings. Have they ever reached out to Opie?
That's what I'm saying.
Have they got any sort of relationship with Opie? No, they don't. So do you know what? Again, we have another case of entitled human beings.
Absolutely.
Whatever happens to him has nothing to do with you. 22 years ago was the last time you had an interaction with that man. Let's keep that same energy and keep it at a no.
Yeah.
I agree. I think people are so audacious. yeah. He can have that heart surgery on whoever else's money. Why doesn't the family gather up and put their little pennies together or take out a loan or whatever it is that they need to do to save their dad? Why does it always have to be the estranged son? I don't, or the estranged child. I don't get it. It never adds up to me. Why me now? Shame on you. Shame on you,
Literally.
the wife, to open your mouth to now come and say, you're doing this. What is happening here?
Where was his obligation to look after, support, and look out for his child? So that went over your head. So now let the same feelings of abandonment be okay and sit well with you that his son doesn't want to help him because why? He abandoned him.
So top comment, not the arsehole. He chose to leave you and not include you in his family. They have a cheek for asking.
I agree. Exactly.
Exactly that.
Okay, my story comes from advice. My sister wants to move in with me. I have no idea how to say no without detonating our family. Hey! Wow, that's a big word, detonating.
It's
Okay.
huge.
My 26-year-old female sister, 28-year-old female, and I have had a complicated relationship for a few years now. Growing up, we were incredibly close. In high school, she started having serious mental health issues, bipolar in nature. We remained close and I did my best to be there for her. She's always been super strong, but hasn't always been the most compliant with her treatment plan and medication. She's said and done some really uncool things to me over the years, but I tried to give her some grace. That being said, we're not on amazing terms at the moment. I keep her at arm's length. About 5 years ago, she decided the best thing for her to do was to move far away from our hometown in upstate New York. She moved about 6 hours away to pursue an expensive graduate degree with private loans and limited employment prospects. The whole family told her it wasn't a great idea, but that we would be there for her if and when she needed us and would love to come visit when we can. A year into the degree, she decided she hated it and ended up getting academically dismissed. However, she decided that staying in the expensive area she was in school would be good for her. She got a minimum wage job and has continuously had to ask us for money to stay afloat. About 2 years ago, my mother started having very serious health issues and needed a lot of help at home because she was bedridden. My dad and I, both working full-time jobs, begged my sister to come home and help. She could live with my parents for free and not work as long as she spent time with my mum. My sister refused because she wanted to stay where she was and continue to ask for money from me and my parents. Through my mother's many surgeries, she didn't come to visit once. Mum is doing better now, but will have health problems for the rest of her life. My parents and sister remain close and have done a great job of repairing their relationship. Some of that is because they have that parent-child bond that is so hard to break. But my sister has still done some really messed up stuff to my parents, and that won't ever go away, even if they've forgiven her. On the other hand, I am not her biggest fan. My sister has made some mistakes, and I don't hate her for them, but I don't like spending a lot of time with her. Frankly, seeing her once or twice a year is more than enough for me. Distance has done us great favours in a way. We talk on the phone maybe monthly and text once or twice a week. In person, she is exhausting and kind of inconsiderate. I still care for her deeply, but being around her has had a negative impact on my mental health. She asks me for money a lot and spends a lot of time complaining about her life. I sympathise to an extent, but she's made the choices that got her in this situation, and I am not in a place to solve her problems. About a month ago, my sister called me to let me know she's moving back to our hometown when her lease is up in May. She has no plans for a new job and has no savings. Last week, she asked to move in with me because she doesn't want to live with our parents. I told her I needed to think about it. Frankly, I have zero desire for her to live with me for a litany of reasons. 1, I enjoy living alone and the privileges that come with having no roommates. 2, she is a slob, as in leaving trash everywhere and smoking inside, not just normal messy. 3, she's not a considerate person, and I can guarantee that she would not pull her weight. She cannot afford to even pay a third of my rent and certainly wouldn't contribute to other bills or for groceries. I am almost certain she expects me to subsidize her lifestyle. I am comfortable, albeit I live quite modestly. 4, she uses her mental illness as an excuse for how she treats people. 5, she is borderline agoraphobic and would not like it when I have guests over. And lastly, I have never really forgiven her for leaving my dad and I hanging while our mum was sick. I've talked with my parents about it and they're on the same page as me. We all would like to have her closer in theory, but she is a lot. My parents are no longer at a stage in their lives where they can support her. They've said they'd consider letting her stay there to get back on her feet for a few months, but they genuinely cannot afford to feed and house another mouth. I can, but I don't want to. Sooner rather than later, I'm going to have to figure out how to tell her that she will not be moving in with me. It will surely make her go apoplectic. She will take it out on me and our parents. Distance has been good in that we haven't had to have this sort of conversation in person before. It's a lot different from, sorry, I can't loan you money this month over the phone. I have zero idea what to do and could use some pointers. What do you guys think?
Just say no. I'm going to tell you a quick story, yeah? I'll never forget this story. No, it happened to my mum. My mum had a friend over and I remember I said to her, Mum, I don't think this woman should be here. Mum was like, no, God says you should treat your neighbour as you would like to be treated. This woman came into our home and she was a slob. She was a slob, but she also brought her mess to our house. I remember one time I went to eat food. This one was having a full-blown argument in between the living room and kitchen with her man. And we couldn't eat. We were sitting there kind of like hiding because she was having this big argument with her man. And you know what? When she finally left, you know what she did? She cleaned us out. Whoa. She stole my mum's clothes. It was a madness. And I said, when I say just say no, auntie, just say no, right? Just say no. My mum was speechless. I came home, I was like, Mum, what's my dresses are gone. Why are your dresses gone? Because and also, while she stole my mum's clothes, she also left a few things that she will come back for. I said, what is this?
Come back for? There's no.
Did she actually try to come
way
back?
You can return.
She was like, oh yeah, we can. I said, that's going in the bin. That's going in the local bin. And again, my mum was like, you have to forgive and blah, blah, blah. I was like, no. What I learned from that story is sometimes distance is really good. It's nice to have friends outside, but you don't have to invite them into your house, especially when you don't know them that well.
No, but this is her sister.
She doesn't know her that well.
Yeah, they're not particularly close. True.
She doesn't know her that well. Her, including the parents, are actually really secretly happy she lives far away. It's easier to give her money. This woman is going to be wild when she comes back. And she's going to be entitled because she's like, I don't have a job. Mm-hmm. I'm mentally ill. Mm-hmm. I want you
savings,
to
no
I don't
money.
have any savings and I expect you to look after me because unfortunately for years you guys have been feeding her habit. If you had left her to it, she would have found a way to be a better human being. But because you guys have funded her lifestyle for so long, she didn't even come back for her mum. Yeah. You didn't even come back for your mum. And you guys forgave her. Sorry, guys. No, I don't. I will watch the explosion happen.
Yeah, I say detonate that bomb immediately.
She needs to learn.
That sister sounds like 1, a stranger, 2, a liability. And I mean a liability financially, mentally as well. She said that if anytime she spends time with her sister, like mentally it could destroy her. And she says that she's comfortable with 1 or 2 visits with her or time spent with her a year. Living with someone is a lot different twice a year. She's a liability. She sounds incredibly selfish and it isn't worth it. I would just say no. And for me, honestly, it wouldn't be a loss. It wouldn't be the end of the world because OP said that her parents also are of the same mind frame and same thinking that her sister is just
But once she gets into that house, she's not leaving.
She's not leaving.
Like
And
not just her house, her parents' house who cannot afford it. So she's literally going to make her parents, she's going to drain them. So no one needs to let her into the house.
No one's safe with her.
No,
one
but
is
everybody
safe.
needs to say no.
Yeah, I
Mum
know.
and dad and
Yep.
sis. But if she goes into the parents' house, guess what? You're also going to have to. You're not going to leave your parents to suffer with your sister. Either way, she'll get her way. You know.
I would say everybody say no. Everybody say no.
Yeah.
And do you know what? Where there's a will, there's a way. That is my mentality for a lot of things. Where there's a will, there's a way. Because you know what? When she went to uni and everyone said, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. It's too expensive. The course also has not great results in terms of career prospects. Don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. Did she listen? Absolutely not. And then what? She drops out a year later, but still continued to live in that really expensive dorm. So she's hard of hearing as well. I would definitely say no. Do you know what? I feel really, really sorry for parents that are getting on and they have a child in their home that will never leave. I feel incredibly sorry. But for the fact that OP's mum is now not in no best shape health-wise, it's going to be even more of a toll on her. So I would say, yeah, say no. I believe everybody will be comfortable with that. And she's spoiled. She'll just complain anyway. So she's going to complain whether she lives with you or whether she lives outside. She's going to complain.
Come outside the parents' door.
No, you don't have to take them. You don't have to take her in.
They'll take her in.
I know, but they're going. Oh, I feel so for her. She's going to be a drain on them.
They'll take her in. She won't help.
And financially, they said they can only help her out for a few months so she can get back on her feet. But we all know that ain't going to happen. It's sad, but I would say no anyway. As the daughter, as OP, just say no.
Have a backup plan. Get ready to call the people them to come and take her for mental illness into one home if she behaves bad.
She should start filling out forms for help from the government. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm pretty sure she's probably entitled to it as well, by the way.
I was going to say, for me, it's just a straight no. I don't think that I even need to, you don't even need to explain yourself. Just no. That's it. Oh, can I move? Oh, I'm planning to move down on the 18th of next month. No. How does that work for you? I'd be like, honestly, whatever your name is, no. That's it.
Not whatever your name is.
we don't know her name. That's
why. I'm saying, if it's Lisa, honestly, Lisa, no.
I don't think it'll be best for us.
Okay, top comment. No is a complete sentence.
Yep.
This situation does not work for you, and that's all the reason you need. You're not responsible for her choices. Exactly. Yep.
It took me so long to learn that no is a complete sentence. Wow. And when I did.
It's true. So my one is from Relationship Advice. I, 28 male, found nudes on my wife's, 29 female, phone of another man and herself. This is not the first time. What should I do?
Wow.
Get out right now. It's the end of you and me.
Okay, so my wife, 29 female, and I, 28 male, have been together with the exception of a long break. She left me for another guy since we were 18 and 19 for 10 years. Every year or two since we've been back together, I keep finding things on her phone. The first was a FetLife account where she was chatting with multiple men. The second was with a co-worker she was speaking explicitly to. Third, she asked a random neighbour out for coffee in our apartment complex in a flirty manner. And finally, this. I found nudes of her that I'd never seen before and looked in the deleted pictures on her phone and found pictures of another man's nudes. We've had some rough patches with my depression as well as hers. I must admit I was feeling sexually frustrated last year and went to a massage parlour, but didn't go through with the happy ending part, and she found out. She insists that nothing sexual happened in her past, that if she were going to go through with it, she would have, but that's not what she wanted. Our relationship is great except for this horrible biannual ritual of her seeking attention. She makes the money in the relationship and I'm very limited in my capacity to support myself for any sort of trial separation. I don't want to leave, I love her, but I feel I need to advocate for myself despite my own wrongdoings. I feel so trapped and hopeless. What should he do?
Stop being a muppet and leave, man. Do you have parents that are alive? Go and live with them. That's the case.
Literally.
Yeah, it sounds like... I don't think it's intentional on her part, but it's almost like financial abuse, but she's actually... It's not her, but the thing holding them together is finance. Like, it's crazy.
No, he loves her.
Oh, yeah, but he's a... sorry, OP.
No, doormat.
I was gonna say
Literally.
a fool.
Yeah.
Because that's actually how I would like. OP, don't take this offensively, but you're doing foolish things because to say it's a biannual thing, to say this casually, like it's just something that happens. That's not normal in relationships, and it sounds like you have both agreed to be in an exclusive relationship. That's not normal for an exclusive relationship. You're not in it doesn't sound like you're in an open relationship. So on that basis, it's weird that you've kind of just normalized that this is what happens in the relationship. That you need to look into that. But also it sounds like outside of the love bit, because can we just please all discuss that love is not enough in a relationship? Like,
not the only
genuinely,
ingredient.
love is the foundation, but it's not enough to overlook somebody who does disrespect the union that you two have by flirting with people openly in front of you, taking nudes, going out to... love is not enough to overlook that if you've agreed to be in an exclusive relationship. So
they're married.
Exactly, and I don't think it's an open marriage, is it?
I don't believe so.
So that's my thing. It's just like, honestly, you need to go live with somebody else, and then you need to also tackle your finances. Go do a degree or tack on an additional certificate that can increase your salary, because clearly this seems to also be the reason that you're staying with her. It seems like your limited funds and your love for your wife is clouding and impairing sound judgment, which is, this is not good for your relationship and it's hurting you over time. Every single time you discover nudes, every time you discover she's gone and done something against you, it's slowly chipping away at you. And I just don't know that that's good for you in the long term at all. It's insane.
Marie's looking bewildered.
I don't have it, man. It's absolutely outrageous. Like, leave.
This biannual tradition. What is that?
Like,
for me, there's a serious lack of respect. She does not respect your union. She doesn't respect you as a man as well, because you're finding this on no regular. So I would say leave by all means. Move in with a friend or family member and try to get over your relationship and, get a job, become more financially savvy, financially sound, financially independent.
Let me get a job.
Because...
He has a job. Oh. What are you talking about?
You've got a job?
He has a job, but it's just capped. The salary.
The salary.
He said the salary is capped.
Move. Okay, get a
that
new one.
can't be your conclusion, Melinda.
Move. No, but I mean that in every sense. It is move. Move from the relationship, move from where you live, move from that job, move on up and out. That is my advice. Okay, we have a top comment. What I'm hearing is, if you had the money, you'd leave her. Know your relationship is not great, because a great relationship is based on respect and she has none for you. Talk to friends or family for help so you can get out. Feeling trapped is not love.
Yes.
My thoughts exactly.
okay, so the last story again is an OPS submission. Hey Marie, love you and the Twins podcast and really wanted your input on something. I am from Namibia, so not sure how else to get this to you. I'm sorry if this is overstepping. My issue. My mum and sister passed on a few years ago and I subsequently took over guardianship of my nephews and siblings. My youngest nephew is a part of a soccer club. During the December holiday, the club took the kids to a soccer camp in Johannesburg. I was not aware, I only found out 3 weeks ago, that during the camp, one of the boys slapped my nephew twice and another boy threw a knife at him. The parent that went with the kids dissolved the situation and advised them to leave it there, hence why he never told me. When the issue was brought to the club committee members, all of the kids present that day were asked to write a statement on what happened. The committee, which I am a part of, had spoken on the issue, but until now, the 3rd of February, no action has been taken. The boys in question are the star players of the team. I had excused myself from the sessions where this was discussed, as I did not want to be biased. I resolved to withdraw as a committee member, as I do not wish to be a part of a committee which I feel does not protect the interests of all the kids, and the more talented kids are above our code of conduct. My nephew says he is over it and really enjoys playing for the team, so he will remain in the team. Am I overreacting? Really need some objective advice. Side note, the club belongs to my uncle, and I think that hurt me even more that their actions did not protect my nephew. None of the kids or even the parents have apologized for what happened.
You're not overreacting. In fact, remove him from the team so that you can teach him that you don't get an allowance just because you're the star player. And I really hate that your uncle didn't inform you, especially as you are now the guardian for this boy. You should have 100% been informed. That's quite odd, but I don't know, it is what it is. It seems like if you did bring it to the committee and say you're not happy with the lack of punishment and the lack of just action that followed after this incident occurred, I can guarantee, based on everything that you said, nothing will change. Nothing's going to happen. And I don't know that putting your nephew in that situation, like it just says he won't be protected. That means something else can happen, something even worse. Another incident could occur. And again, you won't hear about it. And again, he won't be protected and they won't be punished. I would remove them from that, but that's just me.
See, okay, I don't know. I always think when something wrong like this happens in an organisation, in an institution, you go ham. That's what I would do. So, okay, the uncle
But would it change
is-
anything?
No,
I'm
no.
not sure that it would.
Okay, but this is where there's a committee, but there's also teachers, whatever it may be. There's heads of the institution as well, yeah? Committees are just a committee, but there's also outside SMTs, etc., yeah? Senior membership teams, etc. So first of all, she says she left because she didn't feel protected, nothing was done. Sis, get yourself back on the board and start talking really loudly. Have a word with your uncle in addition to other staff members and ask for actionable discipline. Those kids need to be disciplined publicly. What they did is not correct, and also it's a bad lesson to teach them that they can do things and get away with it. That's not the way the world works, and they should be taught it from young. So if I were you, I would do that. And I would also tell my nephew that this is what I'm doing to protect you and to also teach you and show you how the world should be working, not as to how it works. And you might be okay with it, but you are owed an apology. And also, this is should not be acceptable in school, within the football club, just generally. That's a bad misconduct of behaviour. It's incredibly wrong. It should not be done, and it should not be accepted. So that's what I would do. Yeah. Everybody. No, there needs to be actions and consequences, right? And there needs to be disciplinary actions taken for that behaviour, because that's not okay.
Do you know what? I agree. OP, ignore my advice.
That's not okay.
Take Melinda's.
No, that's not okay. He's a child. That's not okay. And the thing is, sadly, when you're on a team, so whether it's a football club or whether it's rounders, whatever it may be, like, especially as a child, sometimes you want to be on that team so badly that you'll just take whatever and just be like, oh yeah, cool, whatever. Especially guys as well. They just get on with a lot of things. They don't really internalize and understand the ramifications of things, because especially in the name of sports and fun, and you know that's their teammate and that's just the way things work. But you don't realize the lessons you're teaching kids when you're younger and how far-reaching they are, because it's not okay. And we see that on TV shows like SVU, like in college, there are certain people that are just, they're allowed because their daddy's rich or whatever it may be to get away with murder, etc., etc. But this is how it starts. It starts from young.
It does.
Yeah, those kind of allowances shouldn't be made. And also, I don't care whether you're the star player or whatever, like every member in a team is valuable and they should all be respected and treated as such.
I would be like a little fireball in that place.
That's what I'm saying.
I would be going to the parents' house of the kids.
Yep.
Personally, if the committee's not doing anything, I would personally be visiting those children and demanding an apology, dragging my little son, my little nephew along, and telling them off. Because if you guys are not even apologizing, what's that showing to my son? I'm owed an apology, and so is he.
Nephew.
sorry, man. I'm assuming that she's taking him on as a son. But yeah, her guardians, you need to take it seriously. This is a really big issue that's just happened. Your son is actually not safe in that club. So I don't think he should be in that club anymore. But I definitely feel like you should have a little tour of apology. You take him on a little tour of apology.
No apology tour.
Yeah.
But it's
I would
true,
go on a
though.
little tour.
I
When
agree.
my kids were
I
in
agree.
nursery, when something happened, we had a meeting. The parents had a
Yep.
meeting. Obviously, there were, 1 and 2. There's not much you can say. But I wanted to punch up them little kids that were, she came with a scratch on her face. I cannot imagine someone telling me someone threw a knife. A knife.
And
Hey!
slapped him multiple times.
And slapped him.
That's not okay.
You think a knife, and I don't know where it could have landed. We're going to talk about it. You need to let people know not to mess with your kid.
But it's bigger than just her kid as well. She's seeing how the club runs, which is not good.
No,
And
I
so-
agree, but you also
but that's
also
why. Like,
yeah.
even if he's an example, I'm so sorry, nephew, but seriously, even if he is an example, okay, you've now seen this is the way it's working. Absolutely not on your watch, and not at the expense of your nephew.
Yeah.
So go on that apology tour, but also speak to whoever is the highest individual of that team and get it rectified. Do you know me? Anyway, don't even leave me to my own, devices, because honestly, I'll go on Facebook. I will do everything because that's not okay. And as I said again, a lot of things are installed in you from young. Those kids will learn, I can get away with this. Okay then, because they are the star of the team, and they will think they can take that to the workplace, they can take that elsewhere, to church, and that's not okay. Because sadly, that's how, I don't know, sadly that is the way the world works, but it should not be allowed, neither encouraged or enabled from young, if you can prevent it.
Here.
Okay, thanks for tuning in, guys. Do let us know which subreddits or what themes you want us to tackle next.
We are back Sunday at 11 a.m. UK time.
Please submit any stories to our Reddit community, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.
Bye.